Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So in today's video, the character we're looking into is Bella Ballerina. So we're going to this character's backstory, location, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. As always, I will just state that everything I say in this video isn't linked to the overall universe and lore of Poppy Playtime. This is just a fun what if scenario and a cool creepy story we get to show off, and we hope you enjoy. And lastly, before we start today's video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerTube as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. It also keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. Also, do be sure to leave a like on this video, because in the very near future, we're going to be doing a character concept live stream, so be sure to like and stay tuned. Alrighty everyone, well, let's get to character concept of Bella Ballerina. So previously in our Poppy Playtime character concept series, we've been looking into the concept characters designed by Mob Games. In their Chapter 2 Secrets video, we see a whole bunch of unused characters that didn't make it into the game. But we've taken some of these characters and given them their own backstories and gameplay elements. The characters we've covered so far have been the Jolly Clown, Chirpy the Bird, and Psydog. Each of these twisted toy characters were hell-bent on harming the player. And each and every time, the player managed to get out in one piece. But now we come to another unused character. And this character is named Bella Ballerina. Bella Ballerina is a simple wooden toy. Her joints and limbs can be posed in any position, and she would stay that way. Bella was one of the lesser known dolls at Playtime Co. Of course, their flagship doll was Poppy, and due to this, Bella was buried under her popularity. But that's not to say Bella was a failure at all. She managed to sell quite well back in the day. The way in which she was made was quite old-fashioned as well. The original Bella Ballerina doll was hand-carved from wood. All of her joints, limbs, and inner workings were all wood. The retail sale dolls were manufactured from plastic, of course. But the original wood-carved Bella Ballerina still stayed at the factory. And sadly, just like all the other toys, Bella was bonded with one of the orphans. And as we all know, this process never ends well. So Bella spent most of her time up on stage dancing. The factory built a miniature stage for her and would let her dance for anyone who would watch. For the most part, Bella seemed to be a non-threatening doll. But as time went on, this proved to not be the case at all. Bella always loved the way her body moved. The way her wooden limbs and joints would elegantly bend and wave. But this wasn't enough for her. She wanted more. She wanted to perfect her dance performance. She wanted to move in a way no other dancer has before. One day, a strange and dark idea ascended upon Bella. What if she had more limbs? What if she could move more of herself? If she had many more limbs to move, she would be twice as graceful. So from that point on, she was convinced. She would set out and find more limbs to join to her body. But everything she came across wasn't a good match. Bron's large clumsy legs wouldn't work. Boogiebot's arms were too jagged and aggressive. Poppy was far too short. And Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy's limbs were too flimsy to dance on. It seemed like no matter how hard she looked, there was no one that would be a good match for her body type. Just as she was about to give up, that's when she found it. A perfect match. In a dusty old room, there was an older version of Bella Ballerina. She was a little weathered and worn, but it would do the trick. So Bella went to work adding the extra body parts to her own body. She added extra legs and made her fingers much longer. When she was done, she finally had the perfect body. She could move with much more grace. For now, this was perfect for Bella, but sooner or later, this would become a dangerous obsession, and soon enough, she would become something entirely different. So now we return to our main protagonist. After Psydog led them to a new area of the factory, they then said their goodbyes and went their separate ways. The player is glad, because who knows when Psydog would change back to his evil self once again. For now, the player wanted to continue forward as they always have, alone. But they won't be alone for much longer. So after exploring around this area, they finally come to a strange looking door. As far as the player is concerned, this looks to be the only way forward through the factory. But there was something definitely strange about this door. Who knows what was behind it? For some strange reason, it was drawing them closer in. But the player can't open this door just yet. It seems to be locked with a special mechanism. It was some kind of music box lock. They press the button and see what happens. It seems the music lock is incomplete. The player needs to find the extra part to the lock and then they can go through this mysterious door. As they look around for the part, they come across a small stage. On the stage, they can see what looks to be the door lock mechanism. As they walk towards it, Bella Ballerina jumps out onto the stage. What on earth has she become? All of her limbs were withered and her paint has chipped away, revealing the wood underneath. Her face is broken in two, revealing a large mouth filled with pointy splintered wooden teeth. The player uses their magnetic grab hand to grab the lock piece. They then quickly run back towards the door. Bella leaps off the stage and quickly pursues the player. Before they can reach the door, they are cut off by Bella. She must have taken a shortcut and got ahead of the player. The player quickly runs into another room. They need to find somewhere to hide. Considering that Bella Ballerina's body was entirely made of wood, their magnetic grab hand was useless against her. The player quickly finds a locker to hide in. Moments later, Bella bursts into the room. The player needs to hide and avoid being seen by her. As they wait in the locker, she then starts to move on. The player peeks out and sees if the coast is clear. They need to make it to the door, but they need to also be quiet not to alert Bella, so little by little, the player slowly sneaks to the door. Whenever Bella would wander back to their location, they would need to hide again. Bella would be frantically looking for them. She hasn't had an audience member in years, and she wasn't about to let this one go anytime soon. But eventually, little by little, the player slowly sneaks out of the room. Finally, they can make their way over to the door and see what lies behind it. They reach the door and snap in the missing part. They press the button and the lock starts to spin and its musical tune plays. The sound of the musical lock alerts Bella. She rushes right over to where the player is. Before the player can open the door, they are barged out of the way by Bella. As they lay there on the floor, they stare up at Bella. She had finally caught her newest audience member. Just before she grabs them, she hears a strange sound. Then, all of a sudden, an electric buzzsaw rips through Bella's wooden chest. The player soon realizes it was Psydog. He had come back to save the player just in time. His electric buzzsaw rips and tears through Bella's wooden body. Eventually, she was reduced to a pile of wood. Finally, it was over. The player thanks Psydog and then returns to face the door. They open the handle and see what's behind it. But as to what's behind the door, we'll just have to wait and see. Alrighty everyone, well that's what we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, comment and subscribing, as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Bella Ballerina and what you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.